Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. When I did a story yesterday about Venezuela and Uruguay has issued travel restrictions and travel warning to the United States because of mass shootings over here. And I told each and everybody about this is going to happen, that countries around the world, and I told you that both Uruguay and Venezuela aren't the only countries that are going to seek travel restrictions or travel warning. Now you have Amnesty International that deals with human rights issues. Now they're telling the entire other countries to have travel warnings following suit of what happened with Uruguay and Venezuela. This article comes from The Hill. And I want people to understand that, and I'm not going to do what Harvey said, I told you so. I'm not going to say that. But I already knew this was going to happen because so much racism happened here, and it's now so much mass shootings because of racism happens here. And now first it's Uruguay and Venezuela. I already reported it yesterday. And now Amnesty has stepped up the plate and issued, and that's what I'm saying. This is a human rights organization. Amnesty is Amnesty International, a human rights organization. And now they telling other countries, issuing travel warnings here in the U.S. as well, which is huge. And that means America is going to lose a lot of money from people who's traveling here. It's like if they doing vacations here or they doing holidays from other countries, traveling from other countries here, the United States is going to lose a lot of money for that. So I'm going to read this article. This is coming from The Hill. And this is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen, because it makes perfect sense on why both Uruguay and Venezuela telling their citizens to have travel restrictions and travel warnings coming from their country to here. Now, I know a lot of people going to say, well, their country has problems over there and we have travel restrictions to them. But see, the only difference with that is just like the United States watch other countries doing wrong on their soil, people who watch YouTube and people who watch other news around the world is seeing what they're seeing what the United States is doing to not only black people, but to what they're doing to the immigrants, sending them back to their home countries. They're seeing all of this. And this is why I said, and plus, at an insult to injury, you have mass shootings, hidden across countries as well, hidden this country as well. And that's why, two countries is stepping up to play, is taking steps to have travel warnings. And now you have human rights organizations like Amnesty is taking, is giving their cause to tell people not to travel here. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Again, this is from thehill.com. It says Amnesty International Travel Advisory for the country of the United States of America calls on people worldwide to exercise caution and have an emergency contingency plan when traveling throughout the USA, said the alert issued on Wednesday. The warning goes on to advise those traveling to the U.S. to be extra vigilant at all times and be wary of the ubiquity of firearms among the population, to avoid places where a large number of people gather, especially cultural events, places of worship, schools, and shopping malls, and to exercise increased caution when visiting local bars, nightclubs, and casinos. The non-governmental organization also warned that some travelers could be at a higher risk of being targeted with gun violence in the country depending on his or her gender identity, race, country of origin, ethnic background, or sexual orientation. Under international human rights law, the United States has an obligation to enact a range of measures at the federal, state, and local levels to regulate access to firearms and to protect the rights of people to live and move freely without the threat of gun violence. The organization added in the advisory, the government has not taken sufficient steps to meet the obligation. More than 30 people were killed in the mass shootings that took place in Dayton, Ohio and El Paso, Texas over the weekend. In the aftermath, both shootings, multiple foreign nations have issued similar travel advisories to citizens who may be traveling to the U.S. I'm going to stop you right there. And I'm going, like I said, I'm not going to use, well, you know what? I am going to use Harvey's thing when he says, I told you so, I told you so. See, I already reported yesterday that both Venezuela and Uruguay issued travel restrictions and travel warnings traveling to the United States because of mass shootings. And now you have Amnesty International, which is a human rights organization, tell the entire world to follow, in other words, to tell them to follow suit. Because they not going to, in other words, other countries are possibly following suit. I told that when I was on the Information Man's show. I also told you on my previous videos that this is going to happen. And it's happening right now. So that, which means that without, people who's from other countries coming to America with sightseeing, it's going to take a step back and say, no, I don't want to go to America now, or I don't want to live in America now because of this. So get ready. And you think America's losing money now that, when they owe Russia money, or if they owe China money, this is going to devastate the economy at all when people who decided to want to take vacations here, or, want to move here to the United States. It's going to shatter everything. So I'm going to go ahead and continue reading this. It said, Uruguay told its citizens to exercise extreme caution against growing indiscriminated violence, mostly for hate crimes, which cost more than 250 people their lives in the first 7 months of the year. The Consulate General of Japan in Detroit warned, this is huge. What I'm about to say this, ladies and gentlemen. The Consulate General of Japan in Detroit warned Japanese residents, oh my goodness, to be aware of the potential for gunfire incidents everywhere in the United States, which is described as a gun society. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro also warned citizens living in or aiming to travel to the U.S. to be extra careful or to postpone their travel given the recent proliferation of violent acts and hate crimes. That's the end of the article. Now you see, ladies and gentlemen, now Japan is involved in this. If you have the Consulate General of Japan warn Japanese residents, that is huge, because people from Japan always comes here to live in the United States. So now you have Amnesty International, which is a human rights organization, is stepping in and tell countries around the world to have travel restrictions, to have travel warnings entering the United States, and rightfully so. Because people got the internet around the world. They're not stupid. Majority got YouTube. They watch videos. This is not, people here in the United States, this country ain't the only country that watch people on YouTube. You got people around the world got YouTube as well. So other countries are watching what's going on here in the United States as well. So they're not stupid. And basically, they're now heed the warnings. So like I told you before, when I was on the Information Man show, I even said this is going to happen. I also, in my previous videos, said that, ever since this is happening, they're going to issue travel warnings now from other countries. I even said that on my previous videos. And like Harvey said, from your world, I told you so, I told you so. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, I was not going to do what Harvey says it, but now you see what is going on here, that the United States, when it comes to countries around the world traveling here, they're in serious trouble now. When you have a human rights organization like Amnesty involved in this. This is not good for America at all. But please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.